started. I'm not going to focus too much build for the most part. I'm just going to go over it. It's pretty basic. That's 3-piece Moon Dancer, Minor Slayer, 5-piece Necroport for having pets. And then I'm going to be using Maul of Inferno. As far as monster helms are concerned, basically it's whatever you prefer. And although a lot of people, when they see the Lightning Maelstrom staff, I mean, you have to beat Maelstrom to get the Lightning staff. It really doesn't matter. As long as it's a Lightning staff, you can go through this with just a ruby-ass Lightning staff. For speed purposes, I'm going to keep my Lightning staff on. My bar setup. I usually run my shield, a scamp, blockade, and I run mage light, and then I actually run twilight. I have mine morph so it heals. You can have it morph the other way. You can not have the twilight at all. It all depends on your preference. And then I'm going to be using elemental rage for my ultimate. My back bar. Of the monarch on this side. I put crush and shock right here. If I did not have the Maelstrom weapon, I would put liquid lightning here. I use a very basic, very simple rotation, basically blockade of storms, the scam, and heavy attacks. It's all my damage for the most part. Without the Maelstrom weapon, I would throw liquid lightning right here for more AoE damage. Crush and shock is really only used for 3 rounds areas, so it's not necessary to always have crush and shock on. I would usually switch out crush and shock and liquid lightning depending on which area I'm at. My main source of healing is power surge, and Maelstrom is better to passively heal yourself than to use all your magic healing yourself. I have the Storm Atronach on this side. I don't typically use it over Elemental Rage. Before I had Elemental Rage, I would use the Astronaut instead, but that was when I made the Sorcerer. I dual wield and not use the staff, and it was before Elemental Rage was even out. So let's get started. Always want to check your food. Just use plain old 2-stat food. I usually just run regular Essence of Magic potions. Hopefully I don't get stuck usually along those streams, and I believe that if the game crashes, it will end the broadcast, which I will start back up as soon as I load back in. I'm hoping that this won't take more than an hour and a half. Last night it took me an hour and 40 to complete this because I crashed almost every round, every area. We won't have that problem tonight. As you see, I'm not really using my shield right now. I'm not really taking enough damage to use the magic on the shield. This is necessary that always necessary. They say that if you can beat the first boss, because it is one of the bosses that will self-heal himself, that you can use damage. It's one of the bosses that basically all boss fights the orb that falls around. One of the advantages if you're watching the live stream is you can type questions inside. Have that right now, that for every area call. first round, nothing's going to do a tremendous amount of damage. But always remember, shields come first. Can't be that's when you're dead. So always try and get your shields up. And hopefully your shields last long enough for you to throw a heavy attack and build up magic. Come to those situations where you have no magic. Another good thing is use tri-stat potions. On this orc, I don't use them. I learned a lot about the mechanics of Maelstrom on Templar, and on that Templar I use tri-stat. Mostly because we don't have Hardened Ward on Templar. Much better skill than magic as far as how much damage. These guys are going down fairly easy just with the wall of elements and the heavy attacks. So I'm not real focused on hitting Scamp every time. So this guy will spawn a bunch of ads. He starts by spawning one and so forth and so forth. If they stay alive long enough, they will eventually start doing something. That's why this one is considered a good DPS test. That orb, that's Twilight, it will eventually one-shot you if you get hit by it long enough. Pet Bill works really well on Maelstrom because basically it gives you 2 more distractions. With the Maul of Inferno, it's 3 distractions. It does good damage now. Bull Run, Inferno Guardian in here. Grofdar probably won't be the best choice. The whole reason to have the pets is to have a distraction so you don't have to necessarily be fighting every enemy in your face. Where that makes Grofdar a little weaker because you have to actually, the enemy actually have to be around you. Since we are using Wall of Elements and some people Liquid Lightning, you can swap it out for Velodra. Or Falcon, not Velodra. Falcon Scoria. So again, we'll get some more health. Another reason I like using them all. You almost. So typically on this wave, I used to just stay by buffs in the wall. I learned that the pets like to get stuck in the wall. So I just kind of just hang out in the middle. Shield jumps on this one. He adds fairly low hit point. Troy. Very little effort on this part. Basically, the familiar on its own will take down anything else.
Pay attention, you lads. You might learn something.
I could use my Twilight Shield there, but it's better just with Crit Churchill. You last longer, cost less magic. One of the other advantages of having the heal in Twilight is you can use new pets. You typically do pretty well in Maelstrom without dying. There are some bosses that will basically kill after worry too much about it. Typically after the wave, like the other advantage of part of working on your pets. The last 2 areas I do switch to back me for spell damage. There's a lot of fire and there's a lot of magic damage that you can get by. It basically helps snag 0. Watch out for the spear, not so much in this area, but Dwarven Spider. Crossbow attack, do a lot of damage. If you're not careful. Sometimes, like right there, I'm not gonna wait any damage to dodge it. I'll just make sure I have my shield on it to absorb all the damage. One of my problems is I tend to hold on to my ultimate probably longer than I should. For this boss, I'm going to wait until I can get them all three together before dropping the ultimate. First time they come out, they usually prefer to stay long range. Like that usually. It's still a don't want to stand too close to them when they're down. They just put a lightning shield around them. That does hurt you when you stand in it. That guy, he took too much damage the first time he was up, so he just immediately dropped back down. Second one, about at his limit. Now that they're all grouped together, that's basically probably not the best way to do that. Like I said, I just shield through it. There are levers that appear on these edges, and you pull them, they will put the blades down for a couple minutes. There are levers that appear on these edges, and you pull them. But other than that, I just straight up burn them. Not too hard of a boss. It was giving me problems on Templar before, where you can't really just sit there and absorb all those blades. But with the pet builds and that huge magic pool and Hardened Ward, you can basically just stand there and shield them. And since most of my damage comes from heavy attacks, magic doesn't typically become an issue. There are times where I do run low on magic during those waves. I will pop a potion somewhere.
You are not worthy to gaze upon.
There, even if you don't have the Maelstrom Staff, heavy attacks like your friend in here, they AoE damage, gives back magic. Damage for like half of the Maelstrom Staff. But, like I said, I'd be throwing down with the blade without the Maelstrom Staff, so that was damage. The Maelstrom Staff, you do have to have wall elements down to get damage without wall elements. Recommended that you make your staff gold. The only thing I have gold is my staff, and then I gold jewelry there. So recently I used Rainish Shoulder on heavy armor. I don't typically start picking up buffs until I get the later rounds, and that's more just to burn through them. They help. They help on some rounds, and less on others. far. Stay on the island. Use the pets in your range if you're advancing. They're on a different island. Right now, all the pets are taking care of that one over there. Do a heavy attack. You're going to go to whoever you heavy attack. Kind of control them a little bit. Very unreliable though. There are parts in Maelstrom where heavy, they will attack random things that you can't attack, like crystals. Be able to change whatever. If you don't want to wear a monster set and you don't have a Maelstrom staff, a very good alternative is Infallible Eater. 5-piece Infallible, 5-piece Necropotent. Kind of mimics the Master Staff or the Maelstrom staff a little. You get that bonus to your heavy damage, heavy attack, but not quite as much. You want to try to avoid the screen on you and then you get like lightning done. There's a lot of things in Maelstrom that will slow you down. The only thing is like dodge roll. During that, I would just like second to show you my stats. I don't have very much recovery. Just under 800. Very low recovery. Most of my magic return is from heavy attacks. About all my magic returns from heavy attacks. With the lightning staff too, the AoE, with lightning and wall of elements, and scamp going on all at the same time is more than enough AoE that anybody really needs. If I would have the Twilight morph the other direction, I would use the Twilight as well for more damage. But as a healing Twilight is not really necessary. Let check. Yeah, so kind of bring up what Big said in chat. When you have pets, you can literally, you can literally just run out and let your pets do all the damage. If you need to step back and refocus, figure out where you are and what you're doing, just let your pets shield up and let your pets take care of it for a second or two and collect yourself and then move on and move forward. Pets make this incredibly easy because everything's not attacking you. This is around with the spears. You gotta watch out for the dwarven spears because their crossbow does a lot of damage. You also have to watch out for the sentries. They will slowly make their way to the center, and if you make it to the center, they will start shooting you with lightning, and get one or two of them is not that big of a deal, but get more of them out, problem. They do put a huge shield on them. They do make it. So, 2 seconds and they'll start putting a shield on themselves. I've heard that you can't destroy the shield, that it's just something that is on them for a set amount of time and then goes away. But it sure does seem like you can destroy the shield. Crossbow I was talking about. I'm not trying to not do that. Probably will end one shot. I think at this point, because I do run quite a bit of health with the Maul of Inferno.
Be optimistic about this one!
also have to remember that before this camp does its final explosion, or actually has its final pulse, it does stun, which really advantage, especially if they're coming out at the same time and stun happens. That way they basically spawn dark. Easier to hit a target moving still than it is to hit a target. Very hard to hit a target. They're all around it. Potion. Sometimes I'll use a potion just because my recovery is so low, and that way it does give you that thing a lot of these ways. The elemental race ticks for 22k. Not much in here with 5 minutes, very long.
See, my minions? This is how it's done.
This guy, while he's walking, stand underneath him, it will actually kill you. You always look out. Too many of those things are competitive. Right now he's on the fire stage. At this point you want to come back with him a little bit. We had to put up to fireballs at you. So my pet had so, like I said, if I have the Maelstrom weapon, I would put the blue lightning on the flat back bar. Throw it right here. There is a lot more bar switching in that. If you decide not to use a Twilight, put it on the front bar as well. Crushing Shock, though, is what you need for this next wave or next area. So I have it on my back bar. It's easier to have it on your front bar, but as long as you have Crushing Shock for this next area, fine. That's the problem with magic DPS is that you don't have the stamina to bash and bait free. So you gotta try to keep that to a minimum. Or crushing shock helps a lot with that. Then you don't actually have to get in their face to action. Just deal with crushing shock. Typically I don't wear 2 Maelstrom weapons like I am right now. The other staff I was actually wearing was a blue staff. It just had the spell power enchantment on it. That's why I wore it. I don't remember which bar is which. But I learned that the lightning staff kind of point upward and the fire staff point downward. We're always well, it's these trolls that right there. Crushing Shock and have to stop and break the guys. Boss where it's going to have a unique mechanic. I usually show up thing about Mall of Inferno, I learned last time, on the last round there are day drops. I did die once on the last round because I thought the day drop that was attacking me was my own day drop. The other problem with this round is there's a lot of long range archers and mages. So if you're a melee type DPS, you don't have to fight to get through them. Or if you're magic DPS. So I have my Templar because they didn't care if I was on the ice or not.
So far, so good. But the worst is yet to come.
Bosses next round. This boss you want to take relative towards the end. I'll do that before. Because with this boss you control the pace of the boss. Up until the very last platform, the boss won't do anything. The major part of this boss before the last platform, like through all of the other mobs and then the boss, and it breaks the platform at about 70 and then Ideally, you want this platform up fast so you can grab those two buffs, slash, and just burn break all three platforms. Or kill her, then it becomes a race to who kills who first. If you are on the platform, as she breaks the platform, it will kill boss. I'm just gonna put control. Those here. Back to this original platform. After, now we have who added that first. Know when she's about to break it because he will immediately go to the center of the ice platform like that. The platform does get broken and there's a pull out. platform.
Killing blow.
First death. So the boss itself, he moves slow. He's not very intimidating. He has the fear, which you have to watch out for the ice. Stay too long in the ice. It's just mostly the mobs he summons are what do
Well
most of the
fought,
damage.
but now things get serious.
Like the last boss himself doesn't do much damage. Really active. Dwarven Spider is a boss that gives a lot of problems. This yes, the instant death on the platform.
And the challenger returns for another try.
Register where you're at very well sometimes.
The bigger they come, but you know the rest. Now do it again. Such brutality.
For some reason, at the end of this round, my pets always die. Some of those we're going to the next one. Maybe that's but this next area gives a lot of people problems. A few people get stuck in this area. And this one's all about situational awareness. You have to be wary of all of these totems. Recently, it's been bugging. As you see, the spider webs just pop up all of a sudden. Sometimes they don't. And it's kind of a guessing game whether ones you have up and what ones you don't. These ones, ticks, you shoot them with the lightning staff, and they will go to wherever you go. Become hostile towards you. Going by the totem, usually wherever you go. You also have to watch out. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have to be first round, third round. Spiders will come up around the totem, act like webs. Now there's two reasons I have the totem free. One, as you can tell, it has that light around it. It has a light around it, it'll stay at the bottom of the screen. Swarm, right there, swarm attacks. Stand next to the one that's lit up, and all the spiders will away. One of the few rounds I will dodge roll in. Dodge roll. The spiders, the little spiders falling through. When you do free all the totems, you'll pick little hammers. Will hit every enemy in the arena, temporarily paralyzing them, and you do more damage. For the most part, I have no problem taking down any little rounds. So one option is just to keep that one over there on the web. They do run into problems. There's a spider that are weapon totems. Not fast. One next one. About 3 seconds. 5 seconds. If you don't kill the ticks where the totems are, they will drop this egg sack type thing. You can pick up the egg sack with 5, you can throw them at the totem. Kind of makes it harder because you have to stop, pick up it, aim it, throw it. Drops this egg sack right here. Pick it up, aim, throw it. It's another way of freeing the totems. Ideally, if you can kill them by the totem, it's a lot better. Temporarily stuns everything, more damage. He's on the boss, more damage. Another thing is on the final boss, in general, depending on your damage, minor bosses. Some of these minor bosses do have anti-magic zones. You can still heavy attack with the anti-magic zone. Shield. Watch out for that lightning, do a lot of damage. So I'm going to treat this totem. Both this, and have final boss. Minor boss. Every round, first and second. Bosses. Did there, this one was coming, so I threw my wall element at the spider that was going to grab the totem back up. That's another good thing about pets, sometimes they see things that you don't see. So you know I only have one totem that I need to unlock at this point, like that. Boss becomes stronger for the rest of these. You have to watch out because sometimes we'll say that you can't be powered and we'll tell you that you're about to swarm. But little spider and big spider together. Down. Little spider. Damage off her. Tick always spawns right after the immobilization. Spot right there.
That one, well fought.
You kind of want to try the hunt set on a Stam Warden. Seems like it will fit well. I just don't know how much damage it will do. Because all that is resource management. I really like Ultimate. I don't actually use one anymore. Let my magic regain. Now, to me, this next area is the hardest, I believe, by far. That spider boss, as long as you keep eye on those totems, and if you can plan it like I did, and then wait for her to get powered a little bit, and then drop her power way down, and then burn her, it shouldn't give you too much of a problem. This one is probably the one with the most random mechanic. Harder. They have these mushroom spore things. They will eventually pop. They put poison on you. That really does a lot. If I do end up with it, I start spamming shield. The other thing is that poison arrow spray does put a very nasty dot on you as well. Avoid the arrow spray. Try to avoid the snipe. May not be that strong. The enemies in this game, they use it. I got hit with poison. Screw it, you have to go these holes, cleanse it. Rolls down. Except for one, the last wave of the round, roll. Over here at the far left, we have a priest. They throw and pop his sword a lot faster. So you always want to try and take those down. They do also come out during the boss battle. Won't fight the boss. Sometimes you can get lucky with the smaller valves. They won't throw or there won't be any swords popping around you. A little bit, but also can tell that low. You can also tell because there's a bunch of mushrooms growing on it.
Should be memorable.
Time, I believe it's around 4. 3 archers out at once. Doing their arrow spray, snipe. Occasionally I'll just grab these shields up over there and let them snipe back. All you really have to do is arrow spray. Long shoot. Pain. That can do a ton of damage in very little time.
Let's hope that this time it's more of a contest.
Don't have that venom color.
Watch. Now we'll see some real action.
Kind of like how I am right now, trying to keep distance on the longest sword, easier dodging attacks. Still eat that one.
So far, so good. But the worst
And the advantage
is
is
yet
having
to come.
it's extra pet. The Maul Inferno, not the Maul, the Inferno Guardian works really well too. It does make your shield into an attack. Problem with it is they're kind of a slow moving projectile, and they're trying to chase after you. Ribbon the Archer comes out. Problem with this. Right now, this guy's shouting snipe. This picked up the shield over there. Just going to flip deal with this archer. Trying to look at all three of them, making sure you're not getting sniped by one of them. That's a really challenge. They shield, snipe. I hit about 5 rolls at once. This boss can become, this is one of the hardest ones. Try and keep the shield up as much as you can. I drop the ultimate. The reason why is when you get a little bit below 8%, something will work. You want to kill one right away, because it's a lot of damage. Once one is dead, you'll immediately start to scream where I like stand shield. We'll kill the scamp that's out there. Good time to burn the ultimate right before he land it, right before he This becomes the hardest boss because of the random spores. Sometimes you'll kill one mender and the other mender will put up a shield, and all of a sudden you have a spore where the shield's at. And you can't leave the shield or you'll die. And stand the shield poison on you to kill you as well.
You wanted a fight? Now you'll get one.
Start of this, I'm not too interested in just burning them down. I don't want the new stack to off the target either. I want both of them, and then again I get the shield. At this point I would just, this time it will kill both of us. Fortunately, yeah. I want to save some of my magic, so I'm not just jumped in. I'm not using my scam right now to attack yet. There's no range time on this monster. Doesn't get any stronger than he already is. Take your time with this boss. You don't have to stick. Watch the video. Down cards, I can teleport to the dungeon. Oh, and I should have gone fast enough. I should have had him that time.
Good luck is about to end.
Alright, so this is one of the few bosses that will take a few times sometimes. I think this is the hardest one. Like I said, he doesn't really get any stronger unless you interrupt him. If he's yelling, you interrupt him, something great, start nothing. Right now, position my wall of elements, maybe attack them, scam, normal, doesn't stomp and the bite and do a lot of damage. So I always try to keep my shield up on this boss. I don't try to use too much magic doing fancy. When he does yell, he will kill the vMA callers. That's out. So that was one of those bad luck scenarios. Got in the shield the same time the vMA caller got killed out, and I got hit by the volatile poison in the shield. Can't leave the shield or you'll die. Stay in the shield, and the poison might kill you. They say flawless conquer in this is mostly dumb luck. I typically have an easier time on the last boss than I do with this one. And it's really just because the randomness of these floors. The last boss is 100% mechanics. You can basically time everything he's done. As you notice, I don't grab too many of the buffs. If you're not caring about scores and just trying to beat this, grab all the buffs you can. This shield one doesn't help too much on this one, except for the benders. It'll reflect the attacks back to them, which is bad and good at the same time, because you can end up killing both benders and have them shield again. Power one. Shield. Ultimate. Would typically kill the vendors, but he's so close to death. Just burn him. Now that's the hardest stage. At this point is when I would take off Hardened Ward. I would switch out for Harness Magic. After this round, most attacks that will hit you will be magic based, besides for melee attacks. This next round is one of the easiest ones. Definitely not as easy as the first round, arguably as easy as the second. It's really not that big of a deal. You just have to watch out for the guys that shoot fire from their staves when they're swirling over their heads. You can interrupt them with Crushing Shock, that's not a big problem, because if you don't interrupt them fast enough. Now that we switch to Harness Magic, Magic right now, our shields are going to go down a lot faster. Harness Magic is nowhere near as strong. That's the biggest downside to switching to Harness Magic. But you can tell everything in Fireball, except for the one guy in 2. Down, just interrupt him. The best part about Harness Magic is even though it's not as good of a shield, everything in here is hitting me with fire, everything in here is back magic. Now at this part you can tell the pets are just going to start attacking things that you don't really need to attack. Going to have to try and pull the pets. Using Throne Destroyers. You just have to destroy that rock totem to make them take damage. If the rock totem's up, they're vulnerable. There's something like that every wave in this round. Beetles, they will start fire around them. Fire. Like I said, shield's #1 priority, especially now that we're using harvest magic. Don't want to spam it more. Like I said, every time it hits me with a fireball, it basically makes my harvest magic free. Allows me to use that. My pet really wants to destroy that already broken totem. So I'm going to focus on this guy. He's actually more of a threat. Infernal Destroyer. So this is a real easy wave. Basically keep those fire guys under control and you just bring everybody together and burn them. This boss does have that chain right there. Typically not a bad thing. The only problem is that you will drop a Dragonite standard, and if that's the case, chain into it. There's a standard, there's a chain, pulls you into the standard. That can do a lot of damage and that can be very painful. Like the Infernos take down the Orbital. Standard, got that. The only thing she really does hurts. Boss, it's really not that much of a challenge. Again, it's more of the ads than the boss itself. It takes more than 3 chances. You have to destroy all 3 totems, and it takes more than 3 of them. Then she starts getting some super powered thing. Basically, got 3 tries, burn her down before she starts getting really. does kind of have a burn. You got 3 chances. Now, I already took her down 42, but I did also use my ultimate, so unless I get my ultimate back. If I don't get my ultimate back the second time, by the third time I will definitely have my ultimate back. So it won't be a problem. Grab this little one thing. You have to watch out for those flame guys right there, because they will start that while you're firing. Situation like that, it does help having skill in Twilight. Just pop that little hill instantly. Dead. It's a round that a lot of people get stuck at. I've been there. Like I said, it's all mechanic. You just have to know the mechanics, and it takes a lot of practice to get them all down right. When I went and looked up videos for the final boss, they made it seem easy. And that what happens when you practice enough and you get everything down, the boss starts looking like it's a cakewalk.
Your dexterity.
See how well I do against it during the stream, but there's been times where I've beat the last boss easily, breezed through it, no difficulties whatsoever. There is a little bit of a randomness to this arena with the ghosts floating around. They don't typically do too much damage. It's the gold ghosts you don't want the other guys getting. It makes them stronger. And for this round, I don't harness that guy is trying to snipe. Those are the gold ghosts I'm talking about. Get 3 of those ghosts, it will allow you to use its YB synergy, knock everybody over, and let it do damage. Similar to the totems in the Spire Danger boss, the big difference though is with the totems, you can save 1 totem and then keep it there. I guess technically you could just ghosts on you at the time. If you get 3 ghosts like this, and you hold on to it for 60 seconds, or it does go away. It's not like you can pick up all 3 at the same time. It does help a lot on the final boss. But other than that, for these little guys, it's not. Snipe me out tonight. I can tell my character's glowing. You can tell when enemy has it because they will start glowing. You get 1, maybe you get 2 on it. It won't be too bad. It's just when the final boss gets 3 of them, you'll basically always do 12,000 or more damage. Big problem with this area is those daydreams. I got killed before because I thought one of those Daedroff was my Daedroff. Daedroffs, when they breathe fire on you, puts this damage over time effect on you. It only really goes away if you kill the Daedroff. So the Daedroffs, if we get hit by their fire breath, we immediately try to burn them down. On the pet sword, usually doing enough AoE that it doesn't matter too much. Templar are different. Being able to heal through his fire became a problem. So about wave 3, when they're going to start summoning a Bone Colossus. Bone Colossus comes out and it becomes probably different difficultly because then they start raining fire down. So ideally, you just don't want the Bone Colossus to come out. Like I said, they don't start summoning them until wave 3, and then they slowly walk towards the center, and then we'll say that this speeds up. If you have enough DPS, you can usually burn them down once they get to the center. If not, you want to try and work on them as they're walking towards it. One extra round in this one. There is a mini boss. Those are the summoners right here. So you just slowly walk towards the middle and then they start summoning. Become more resilient if they collect those ghosts. There are healers in this round. You don't heal a tremendous amount. Is this round it will summon 2 summoners at once. Right here. 2 summoners. There's tags. So this round will become difficulty if both the summoners get to the center. Try and focus on the summoners first and go grow. He really didn't do too much to me right there. As long as you keep your shields up, you should be fine. Another thing, you could drop your ultimate on both of them. It's just, this does have a 5th round, or I guess a 6th round. It starts out simple enough. Guards. Then it will do a mini boss of a Titan. Now this guy, that build, you got enough damage, you just burn him down, no problem. At one point he will sweep the wing attack. Does that, he will push you towards the edge of the map. Right there, he'll push you towards the edge. I hang on to the edge because after he does that sweep attack, he will start to fire everywhere. Kind of like a regular Danger Titan, like in City of Ash. And if you're on the edge, it's really easy to dodge the fire jump. You have to watch out for the fireballs as you fall came over the edge. This guy is all mechanics, and right now you can start charging up one of those big blasts. You can dodge it, you can block it, just make sure you don't get hit by it. It does not go over. Now he's going to start channeling some skulls, like that. Normally I would save my super, but now that works. Get rid of the guard, same process. Get rid of the healer. Teleport to the center. At this point, Clan Furies come out, and you need to kill the Clan Fury underneath the pad that split up. You have to watch out because he does use split spikes. This is probably the part where most people have problems with. Block his orbs, you can dodge roll, but you don't want to dodge roll off of it. They always want to keep moving because see there's fireballs. Hit one like that, it stuns you. They go through your shields. Back up there. Ideally, you want to try and get up there and get it done on this thing. All in one setting works best, but and you get down here though, and that day drop breathes on you. You gotta kill that day drop before you can go back up there. Because if day drop breathes on you and you go back up there, the damage over time effect will kill you while you're up there. Both my pets back out. That. Now he's going to teleport. Shock him. You also don't want to be staying too close to him. What he does is that blast that he just did, and that will do a lot of damage. Not too bad with the shields, but you don't have your shield up. Shot you. Land for over here. Hold it up. Here, crystals, blast. Roll dodge is dangerous up here because you're gonna go off the edge. That's okay. At this point, there's that rock shield that moves around. If you want to get behind the rock shield, last time to stop him from pushing you off. Fireball. Now the first time it comes around, it's real slow. Real easy to just chase it. Second and third time, it moves faster and faster. So after the first time, it's almost better to run the other direction. The second time, the third time, you basically have to run the other direction. Break free fast, you know, he did hit me with the thing. Save yourself. Since he spawned right next to me, kind of the burn stage, because at this point there's gold ghosts and then summoners will start to appear. I kind of want to try and kill him, mindful of summoners. This would be a good point to take all the buffs. There's a summoner, there's a gold ghost. Power, defense. Defense, you don't have to worry too much about that. I got this. Basically just starting to work. Like I say, he takes damage right now. Gets rid of all those ghosts. I'll drill that one. There we have it. Like I said, that boss is all mechanical. You can basically time every one of those blasts that he does. Once you do this enough times, you just know when they're about to come. Without the Maelstrom Staff, you know, you do have to throw in the Lightning Flood in there. And your heavy attacks won't do as much damage, but the Lightning Flood will make up for it. Let's see what I get. Really, I'm looking for. I got a Inferno Staff, powered on, mace, and the sword. These are the dual wield sets. This is definitely solid. And you always get 8 transmutation crystals at the end of it too. It's kind of nice to have. Really easy way to grind them out if you can complete that Maelstrom easily. 8 transmutation crystals in a little bit over an hour, almost hour and a half, I guess. If it's the first time you complete it, you do get a skill point, a bus to put in your house. Every other time you get like 600 gold. I think a very good reward for it.
And now it's
Dungeon
time
used to
for
be
my
really
parents
unstable.
to
I would
return
usually
to me.
crash 1 or twice through a run.
Stand back! I haven't done this in quite some time. I hate
They have
to turn
recently
you
made it
inside
better.
out. Baron, who moves
You
like
also
a
get
smoking
better
plume, I summon you.
costume.
Return to me.
Remember where it's at. Appearance,
Approach me,
polymorphs.
my Baron. Let me get a good look at you.
I don't know why your version of the Baron is so short. Probably the shortest polymorph in the game.
You look splendid, simply splendid.
So that's Vet Maelstrom. Say you don't have a Maelstrom weapon and you don't care about the monster helmet, I would go Necropotent, Infallible Ether.
Or anyway, my
Your heavy attacks won't do as much as the Maelstrom staff does, but it will do a lot of damage still. If there's any questions, that'd be a good time to ask. I don't know, it doesn't seem like my chat really wants to work. But besides that, it's a very mechanical boss, very mechanical dungeon. Very little leeway, very little forgiveness, and little mistakes. And some of the rounds, there's a lot of randomness, and usually it's stupid deaths that get people. So I'm not sure if my text chat is working right now. Just give me a second. How about now? I forgot there is a delay. So I'll go over the question again. Bacon asks, is Maul of Inferno better than Inferno Guardian? Infernal Guardian is really good. Makes your shield into an attack. Problem is if the things move, the Infernal Guardian is going to miss them. Especially when we got pets around, they're going to be going all over the place. The pets are a great distraction, which is also an air plus to the Infernal Guardian. Or as the Maul of Inferno is that it summons a third pet, a third body for the enemies to attack. I don't know if the Maul of Inferno can get killed, but it does great damage. It's a big distraction, and overall, compared to the Infernal Guardian, I think just the fact that the Infernal Guardian can miss after it moves, the Maul of Inferno is better. Veldrift, not Veldrift, I don't know why I keep saying Veldrift. Valken Scoria would be another great choice. It does AoE damage, it procs off your dots, and Wall of Element is considered a dot. And so is the Scamp. Besides, for those two, Lambrus is what they used to run all the time. After Lambrus got nerfed, most people started switching out for something better. Supposedly Maul of Inferno is better than Lambrus now. I guess that depends on the situation. I think Maul of Inferno is better on a single target, but when you get a lot of AoEs and a lot of targets, Lambrus is probably outperforming Maul. Another cool thing about Lambrus is it does proc off the pet as well, off the Scamp. So, like I said, you can kind of run around and just let your Scamp fight it, and Lambrus will proc the lightning from the Scamp. So if there's any more questions, I have to go check in the other room, but if there's any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, it doesn't appear there are any more questions, so I will end the stream. I will post it on YouTube. Not tonight, probably tomorrow. That way, for people who need to complete Maelstrom that are in the guild, or people in general that need to complete it, they can try and complete it before the double drops end. They end Monday, so start running them. I know Thanksgiving is here, and it's family time and everything like that. That's why I wanted to post my stream of it before Thanksgiving and before the double drops end. It just makes it easier when you get 2 drops to get what you want. Most people will be looking for the lightning staff. Like I said, it makes it a lot easier because it makes your heavy attacks do more damage. Heavy attacks are also AoE. It burns everything in this place a lot faster. So I'll be signing off now. I'll see some of you guys later.